everybody, this is Tamika Hall and this is Pageant Prep TV, and I'm so excited that you're here on another episode. Thank you to everybody that has been sending me inboxes on Facebook and emails and inboxes here on YouTube and letting me know that these videos are valuable. Thank you so much for that. I genuinely appreciate it. Listen, if you do like what you've been seeing, can you please just click the thumbs up down there below, hit that like button, let other people know that this is valuable information, and also while you take a moment and subscribe, I don't know, is the button here or here? It says subscribe, I don't know, and it's free. But again, it helps me to build my network, and I promise you don't get any emails unless you sign up for that stuff. So listen, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I know normally I like to do these videos and I like to be in my grandiose pageant attire and pageant hair and pageant makeup, but I decided to change direction at the very last minute, and the reason for that is because I had a viewer contact me via Facebook and they asked a great question. And because they asked the question, I felt like if they had the question, everybody else would have it. So let's get started. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm going to keep them anonymous, but this is what the message said. I saw a couple of your YouTube videos. Thanks. Just wanted to let you know that they are very, mind you, the word very is in all caps, very helpful and informative. I enjoy watching them. Well, thank you very much. I had one question. When going into the interview, would I go in and say my name, title, and then something about myself, or should I walk in, greet them by saying hi, shake hands, and sit down? Thank you very much for your questions, and I also appreciate you allowing me to share this with everyone else that watches these videos. So, let's take a moment and let's dissect this question. The first part of the question said, when I go into the interview, do I say my name, my title, and then something about myself? Okay, first of all pageants don't do, but some do still allow for you to have a pageant introduction, because that's what we're dealing with right now. We're talking about a pageant introduction. This is very famous in the Miss America system, where you walk into a room, you have 30 seconds to introduce yourself, say whatever it is that you want to say, and then you launch into your interview. Most pageant systems will tell you if you're going to have an introductory moment. If you're not told that, that is a good question to ask. You can ask, so listen, you know, when we go into the interview, are we supposed to introduce ourselves? It's a great question to ask, because you don't want to walk in and they're just standing there and kind of say, hi, you know. You don't want to do that. If everybody else is introducing themselves because that is what the pageant is expecting you to do, then you do want to know if that is an expectation. So once again, you're normally told by the director or whomever it is that's on their staff that you're going to have an introduction period. So the question said, do I introduce my name, my title, and then say something about myself? Now here's the thing. Normally when you walk into an interview room, you're already introduced by whomever is working that part of the pageant interviews. So normally they will say, hi, this is Tamika Hall, Mrs. Maryland. And then they walk away, and then you're on. I mean, they don't say, hey, honey, stand here. They don't have a magic X on the floor. I've never really seen that. You walk into a room, you have a chair or you have a podium. Or if you don't have any of those things and you don't have an X on the floor, then you kind of position yourself in the center of the room. So if they say your name and your title, I generally shy away from going into my introduction and saying, hi, I'm Tamika Hall, I'm Mrs. Maryland. You know why? Because they've already heard it, and you're wasting seconds by doing that, by saying something that they've already heard, okay? So I don't normally, if they introduce you, I won't say my name and my title again, because that's just very redundant. They will normally tell you, I'm going to say your name and your title. They will tell you that. Sometimes they'll just say your name. Hi, this is Tamika. If you get something like that, then by all means, hi, I'm Mrs. Maryland, and I'm really excited to be here, and you can say whatever else it is that you want to say. You know, that's fine for you to say that just so they can remember your state placement or whatever your title might be. So again, you have to determine what that is, and if you're not told that, most pageant systems I've ever been in, they're really good about giving you the information, because nobody wants you to look bad in the interview. I'll tell you, I shy away from shaking hands. And you know what, let me show you why. This is just me coming toward you in the camera. This is what it looks like when you shake hands from the judge's standpoint, because they're sitting down. You know, and you've got to remember, the interview is about maintaining a conversation. And I'll tell you, crowns are one. I believe they are one in the interview. You do want to be personable. But walking toward the judges, standing over top of them, shaking everybody's hand, Do you see that? I mean, and I know you're watching this video and you probably step back a little bit. Well, guess what? That's kind of what judges do as well. And I'll tell you, I actually had a pageant that I judged where a judge literally stopped the contestant and said to her, "Don't shake hands." It may not have necessarily been my style to do that, but I'll tell you, it can be a pet peeve for some of them. When you go into the interview room, whatever you say is going to set the tone for that interview. That introduction, I love introductions. It gives you the opportunity to literally control where the interview is pretty much going to jump off from. Okay? So if you get in there, for me, I'll tell you this. I have always been very passionate about educating teenagers about dating violence. So my introduction speaks about that. Let's say you have a platform and it's about heart disease. Well, guess what? Craft an introduction, make sure it sounds conversational, and then that's what you talk about. So for example, let's say that it is, I don't know, let's say it's dog obedience, okay? I don't know, it could be anything. But let's say you walk into the room. Now remember, if you saw the first video, it talks about commanding attention. So if you walk into the room with confidence, they're already going to be looking at you. If you walk in there with confidence, they're going to stop writing and they're going to stare at the girl that just walked in. So you walk in, let's say they've already said your name. Hi, this is Tamika Hall, Mrs. Maryland, and then that's where you launch into your introduction. It can go something like this. Good morning. I'm so excited that you are here, and I'm excited to have this opportunity to speak with you about my platform of dog obedience. I hope to convey to you in this interview the importance of taking your dogs to be trained so that we can provide a safer environment in our communities and around our neighborhoods. Honey, I don't know. I just made that up off of the top of my head, but do you understand what I'm saying? You know, and you can always end it by saying something, and with that, I'm ready for your questions. Be very conversational. Give them something that you want to talk about, because everything that you say is going to drive where the interview goes. So hopefully this episode of Pageant Prep TV has been beneficial to you. If it has, please leave me a comment below. If you have a question about any phase of competition, feel free to inbox me on Facebook, inbox me here, leave a comment below, and I promise you I will contact you individually, and I'll also do a video so that you can actually see me pretty much one-on-one, and we can handle the response there. So listen, until next week, this is Tamika Hall, this is Pageant Prep TV. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.